Picture this. You buy a new laptop. It's sleek, powerful, everything you wanted. But then you notice your old mouse looks clunky next to it. So you buy a wireless mouse. Then your desk suddenly looks cluttered and outdated. Before you know it, you bought a new desk, a monitor arm, a keyboard, and completely reorganized your workspace. That $1,000 laptop somehow cost you $2,500. Sound familiar? You're not bad with money. You've fallen victim to one of the most powerful psychological traps in consumer behavior, a phenomenon that's been quietly draining bank accounts for over 250 years. Today, we're diving deep into the psychology behind unnecessary purchases, and by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why you can't stop buying things you don't actually need. This story begins in 1765 with a broke French philosopher named Denis Diderot. Despite being famous and brilliant, Diderot lived humbly with old furniture, worn rugs, and a rickety chair. He was perfectly content. Then Catherine the Great bought his personal library for the equivalent of $50,000 today, while letting him keep all the books. Suddenly wealthy, Diderot did what anyone would do. He treated himself to a beautiful scarlet dressing gown. He put it on, looked in a mirror, and felt elegant. But when he sat at his desk, something felt wrong. His magnificent robe clashed with his scratched, ink-stained desk. The contrast was unbearable, so he bought a new mahogany desk. Now the robe and desk looked perfect together, but his old threadbare rug suddenly looked pathetic next to the mahogany. He replaced it with an expensive Damascus rug. Can you see where this is going? The rug made his curtains look cheap. The curtains made his chair look like firewood. Within months, Diderot had systematically replaced every single possession he owned. And at the end, he was broke again. He later wrote an essay titled "Regrets on Parting with My Old Dressing Gown" with this haunting line, "I was the absolute master of my old dressing gown, but I've become a slave to my new one." This is what psychologists now call the Diderot Effect. When you introduce one new possession into your life, it triggers a spiral of consumption as you upgrade everything else to match. Here's what's happening in your brain. As humans, we have a deep psychological need for consistency. When different parts of our life don't match, it creates mental tension, and our brains hate tension. When you buy a high-status item, you're not just buying an object. You're upgrading your identity. That luxury car, designer bag, or premium phone becomes an anchor that redefines who you are. If you see yourself as a Honda Civic person, you're comfortable wearing basic clothes and eating at casual restaurants. But buy a Porsche and you've shifted your identity. You're now a Porsche person. And Porsche people don't wear scratched sunglasses or have cheap furniture. Every item in your life that falls below this new standard creates psychological discomfort. To relieve the discomfort, you upgrade everything else. The car demands a better wardrobe. The wardrobe demands better vacation destinations. The vacations demand expensive luggage. You're not spending because you want to. You're spending to maintain coherence in your story. Modern marketing has weaponized this psychology. Think about fitness brands. You buy a Peloton bike for $1,500, but you can't ride in old gym clothes. You don't look like the instructors. So you buy cycling shoes, compression gear, branded tops. Then the bike looks cluttered in your messy room. So you create a dedicated workout space with yoga mats, weights, a new TV. You haven't just bought a bike. You bought an entire identity, and it costs thousands more than you planned. Most people make a fatal error when evaluating purchases. They look at the price tag in isolation and ask, "Can I afford this?" This is wrong. You need to calculate the chain reaction cost. Let's say you renovate your kitchen with new white cabinets for $10,000. Reasonable, right? But those new cabinets make your 10-year-old refrigerator look disgusting. It works fine, but visually it clashes. So you spend $2,000 on a stainless steel fridge. Now the old vinyl floor looks cheap next to the modern cabinets and fridge. You install hardwood for $5,000. Your beautiful new kitchen makes your living room look dated, so you paint the walls and buy new furniture for another $8,000. The final cost wasn't $10,000. It was $35,000. The cabinets were the scarlet robe, the anchor that made everything else inadequate. Here's the terrifying part. You were happy with your old kitchen before. The upgrade created the dissatisfaction. This reveals an uncomfortable truth. Upgrades are often downgrades in disguise. Diderot's old robe was functional. He used it freely, wiped his pen on it without worry. The new robe? He became terrified of ruining it. He lost his freedom. When you buy an expensive white couch, you stop letting friends drink wine near it. You stop letting the dog jump up. You stop living in your living room because you're servicing the object. You become a curator of a museum instead of living in your home. So how do we stop this psychological trap? Here are 3 practical strategies. Strategy 1. Predict the chain reaction. Before buying any upgrade item, pause and ask, what else will this demand? If you buy a PlayStation 5, will it demand a 4K TV, an extra controller, a subscription service? Write down the full system cost, not just the item cost. If the PS5 is $500, but the system cost is $1,500, can you truly afford $1,500? If not, don't buy the anchor item. You're inviting a financial vampire into your house. Strategy 2, one in, one out. The Diderot Effect thrives on accumulation. Cap your inventory. Buy new sneakers. An old pair must leave. Buy a new toaster. The old one goes. Donate it, sell it, or trash it. This prevents you from building a shrine of possessions and keeps you in the mindset of a user, not a collector. Strategy 3, strategic downgrading. Sometimes you need to deliberately downgrade a visible part of your life to reset your baseline. Drive a car slightly older than you can afford. Wear a simple, functional watch. When your anchor items are humble, you feel zero pressure to upgrade everything else. If you drive a beat-up truck, nobody expects you to wear a $2,000 suit. You have freedom. You create a low-maintenance identity, and a low-maintenance identity is one of the most profitable assets you can own. There's nothing wrong with nice things, but understand the game you're playing. Consumerism is designed to make you feel incomplete, like you're one purchase away from happiness. But Diderot taught us 300 years ago that one purchase doesn't complete the puzzle. It scrambles it and forces you to start over. Don't be a slave to your possessions. Be the master of your life. If this video helped you see your spending habits differently, hit that like button and subscribe for more content on the psychology of money. I'll see you in the next one.